Last week, Team Zeal and Team Divas ran the streets of Kampala selling fresh fruits, vegetables and ladies' shoes. It was a profitable day. Team Zeal took the lead with profits of 419,000 and Team Divas made a 350,000 profit.
16 DFCU investment clubs are still in the running to win millions of shillings in cash, a study tour to Nairobi to see how they do it over there, and 1 year of advisory services from PricewaterhouseCoopers. We have teams from East, West, North and Central Uganda. This is a non-elimination round, which means the teams are fighting for positions anywhere from 1 to 16. Hello teams. Hello. Welcome back. How was last time? Tough. You know, it gets tougher with each week and the tasks change each week, which means we have to get all those qualities out of you. Now, this week is no different, except it's a non-elimination round, which means you're all still in the running. By now you know your positions, you know who's at the top and who's at the bottom. So you're either fighting to keep your position at the top or fighting to leave the bottom. Of course, it depends on how each of you work hard in your teams. Now, each week, of course, we change team leaders as well. So I'd like to give you 2 minutes to speak amongst yourselves and give me the new team leaders. Your 2 minutes start now. We have 2 teams that are still brainstorming on the leader, just so you know. Team Divas, your time is almost running out. Do you have a leader? Great. So we'll start with Team Alpha, who's your new leader. So please come here. All right. They made the quickest decision, I guess, for a leader. Team Zeal. Team Divas, who took the longest time to give us a leader. Team Omega. All right, so you're the new team leaders. Team Divas, unique. Last time you said language barrier was a problem. I hope this time you're ready. You're ready. Awesome. So Team Zeal, I'll give you an info pack and an envelope. Team Zeal. Team Divas. Alpha. Omega. You cannot actually open the envelope or the pack until after the training. You'll have 30 minutes to brainstorm on your new tasks. You ready? Good luck.
The teams have to first go through a training session on building a strong club, and the trainer is Alan Katwalo. Alan is an experienced strategic management and competitive expert, both at firm and national levels, with competencies in strategy execution, cultural change management, and competence development. Alan has previously held the positions of Director of the Institute for Strategy and Competitiveness at Strathmore Business School in Kenya and also Dean of School of Business at Kabarak University in Kenya. Alan holds a PhD in Strategic Management from Bradford School of Management, Bradford University, an MBA from University of Wolverhampton and a BA from Macquarie University, amongst other academic and professional qualifications.
We're going to be examining what investment clubs are, okay? Why investment clubs? Why do we need them? A lot of people now in Uganda are involved in what are called circles, isn't it? About savings, mostly savings. What's the difference between savings clubs and investment clubs? The difference really is in the purpose, is in the reason, okay? One saves primarily, and sometimes they do invest, but saves primarily for what? For consumption. Investment clubs, however, are about saving for what? For investment. So you're not going to withdraw your money to buy a car or to get married. So we now go into the why. There's a lot of talk in Uganda today about investors. Everybody is talking about who? Investors. Have you ever asked yourself the question that why is it that every time we as Ugandans talk about investors, they are foreigners? So as Ugandans, we don't have the money to do what? To invest. Okay? And so, point number one about the why is it is the surest way of getting you and I to become what? Investors. Because you now have the money to invest. And I think it's a Chinese saying which says, you know, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go with other people. Our reality is that individually we are still unable to put together enough resources to invest. You see, investment clubs go deep into our everyday life, isn't it? They are bound to affect who and what we are. As you talk to these people, get to understand what are those things that, number one, they treasure, okay? And how they'll become better because of having put money aside to invest, isn't it?
Every investment club takes turns to lead the team. Abbas Mugweri of Namakakale and Paul Omondi of Umoja na Maendeleo are team leaders, Team Alpha and Team Omega respectively. Tonight, the teams face task 3, building a strong club. In this task, teams are DFCU ambassadors and they're supposed to convince other people to open up DFCU investment club accounts. It's 10 a.m. and the Team Omega starts brainstorming on ideas. In just 30 minutes, they have to have a strategy ready to execute.
Now, come on guys, come on board. Where? Specifically, where do we locate ourselves?
Okay, to me, let us first ask ourselves, do we know of any groups out there that would need to open a bank account with DFCU and form that investment club? A club account. Do we know of any? If we do, now that will involve the telecommunication so that you get a person who can like come down and sign up.
Team Alpha walks out of DFCU towers wondering how they're going to execute task 3, building a strong club. The team's energy levels are in negatives and they don't really have a strategy, but they head out anyway.
But we should not target university students, colleagues.
You don't think they can sell?
They can, but sometimes you may find that they are those in their last years, others in the first years.
Common interests, it becomes really tricky.
It is tricky.
You know, at times you have to sell something, you have to tell someone the benefits of something. That's when you can give you an ear to. If you find the sense in it, people will do this. But don't think you come with papers and say, now open account and save. No, we need to tell these people.
The market vendors.
Let's go and talk to them. And
So where are we beginning?
Where are we beginning?
Let's go to downtown this side of Kiseka.
Ramadan's Kiseka market idea is rubbished and all members consent to go into car washing bays in Wandegea.
I can see a washing bay around Wandegea.
So we know where are those washing
Common
bays.
interest. Where is common interest?
Where are those?
Washing bay, the one around Wandegea is organized. I think those people can be organized.
We are going to Wandegea, to the washing bay. Our strategy today is to recruit more investment clubs.
The teams are all terrified about this task. They just don't know how they're going to get people to open up investment clubs in a matter of hours.
Kufungua investment account kwa DFCU.
Groups zasicho mutusobola abagala account ne DFCU nga tusobola okubafuna.
Uncle Joe naye kyemwagaza because amanya abantu, but I don't know if he can do for us mobilization.
They want it now.
Bagambe tugenda kubafuna transport tubasange mukono. Tutule mu kifo kimu tukole gundi kubanga n'okujja mu kyalo tikigenda kuba kyangu.
30 minutes and Team Omega is heading out. Their destination is Mukono, Katosi, several kilometers from Mukono town.
So we are going to meet members of savings group who are desirous of opening a club investment account with DFCU. So right now we are on our way. They are waiting for us there, and we are also trying to do online registration. So once we reach there, we shall have an order, we shall have something like an agenda, we shall have prayers.
Prayers again? Team Omega should have learned from their Task 1 blunder. Team Alpha jokes about Team Omega's Task 1 blunders.
Those Omega people, did you see them? And then Flavia really put it in our faces. They even got time to eat food.
We, yeah?
No, Omega.
Where's the washing bed? I don't know.
Team Omega thought about changing the team name, but team leader strongly disagrees.
The meaning of Omega is it does not mean that we should be it is the last. No, this time Omega shall be the Alpha and we shall be the first.
Look out, Omega is seriously eyeing the top position.
Okujjawo twagala abantu bano bayige nti nno bwe tusevinga omwaka ne guggwako ne twerumya n'omwaka omulala ne guggwako ne twerumya n'omwaka omulala ne guggwako nti mu myaka 2-3 ne wekiba myezi sente ziba ziweze ne mufuna
abantu balaba tubagenda bbira wamu bbanga lyonna.
Team Alpha is spending a lot of time talking to the wrong person. The boys had a terrible experience in the saving club they had earlier. Team Alpha abandons Washing Bay boys and goes to a border stage nearby.
Ati naffe ngaba na Uganda obanga fatuli wano ba boda tukyasobola okubeera awo n'ekibiina kyaffe ne tubeera n'ekiruubirirwa oba n'ekirooto kyaffe nti mu bbanga liti twagala okubeera nga tutuuse ku step eno.
It's a rocky start for Team Alpha. These border guys too had a bad experience with the chairman of their previous saving group.
Uganda nga Uganda abantu fena twafuna endowooza za buyaayi buli muntu yenna yafuuka muki buyaayi teri muntu gwenza gamba nti jangu tukole bwe tuti kubanga omugaa nti jangu tukole ekibiina kino ayina yali amuviireko gamba bweweesiga ono enkyakuyiwa n'akubba temuliimu mazima amazima ge gakoze eki gabuze mu bantu.
Team Omega's targets are high and they have to scan more documents.
Right now we are photocopying a constitution. We have 6 groups waiting for us who wants to open the club investment account with the DFCU. So we are here photocopying. Time is not on our side, but I know we shall make it. We are going to make it, and once we are done here, we are expecting some registration online also. Therefore, today we are going to make it, and it is our day.
They spend quite some time photocopying extra documents. Meanwhile, Fred receives endless calls from the people that are tired of waiting back in Katosi. Team Alpha talks all they know about investment clubs, but the border guys are not budging.
Mwe abeesalirawo nti obaka tuteekengayo omutwalo gumu buli wiiki buli memba bwe muba abana gye emitwalo 4 ne mubeerayo n'ekiseera kye mwagala okuterekeramu sente ezo oba myaka 2 oba mwaka gumu.
Kati ebbanga ligenda kuyitawo sente ezo olabe nga zikoze eki ziweze buli okugambe nti sente zino ziweze obadde ovuga booda ya looni ogizeewa mukama omugamba
kati nange njagala
naawe n'okola ki
n'ogula eyiyo.
n'ogula n'endala 3.
There's a power outage in Mukono, so they hop from one shop to another. Finally, the photocopying is done. Time check is 2:30 and the Team Omega now starts on the journey to Katosi. Team Omega is finally in Katosi, Sichomu offices.
Yes, we have reached our destination, so we are expecting to meet in savings groups here so that we register them. After registering them from here, then we move to the next field, then we register those groups here. So in total, we are expecting like 6 groups from this area. And okay, one group we are going to divide into 2. One group is going to remain here to register savings group which are here. Then one group we are going to go with to the next destination, of which they are also waiting for us from there.
Team Omega members sensitize clients and they have good knowledge of the benefits of saving to invest.
To my understanding that you already have a saving group, right?
Yeah.
So for our purpose here, you have to save, but with some bit of what are you going to do next in your future? In that future, what are you going to have? So we have to encourage people to not just save for the next day, let me get my money from my group and I consume it with the family. I eat my money with the family. So we are encouraging you people to open these accounts with DFCU Bank, an investment club, that in the near future you can be able to put your money in a bigger system. So maybe there is a clinic that is opening up that it needs people to put in their money.
Team leader Paul, Fred and Ronald go to another gathering to register the people who are waiting there.
Twagala okuyambako abantu naddala fino wansi fe ababeera mu byalo tusobole okuyiga okukozesa ssente zaffe ze tutereka okuziteeka mu bintu ebisobola okuzza ssente mukitegeera muzungu kyayita investment bulijjo tutereka ssente kye bayita savings mukitegeera naye kakati kino DFCU kyeleese ne NTV ffe kye tulimu eyagala okuyigiriza abantu wansi ne waggulu oba mu kibuga oba mu kyalo ssente zammwe okusobola okuziteeka mu kintu ekizza ssente.
It's possible if you work hard on it. Possible if you never quit. It's possible. It's possible.
They employ the use of technology.
Is it therefore?
Team Omega ran out of papers. They still have about 30 ready to register as DFCU investment clubs. Finally, light at the end of the tunnel for Team Alpha. The vice chairman is convinced but needs to consult with other members first.
Selling a service is the hardest thing. Let's go to those garages up. Yeah?
We are struggling, but I think we shall change another strategy. This one is not working.
And they have lost the driver. So they jump on the fastest means, border borders.
Can we get to border borders and we go? Where we are going?
But this border, they are all up and down, up and down.
Desperate to sign up an account, team leader Abbas storms a pot painter who doesn't even seem to notice his presence.
You begin saving. You begin saving. Here, when you open up, we take your particulars.
Team leader storms a mobile money shop next.
naye ekituleese olwaleero kusheyaringako nammwe birungi ki bye tufunyeemu obeera oli awo nammwe mugire ki mujoyininge. Clubs zino zibeera z'abantu bameka? Tusobola okutandiika n'abantu nga 4 tuli wamu ne twekolamu ekibiina ne tutandika okutereka ssente zaffe.
Success at last, Team Alpha's first account.
It's possible if you work hard on it. It's possible if you never quit. It's possible. It's possible.
In the garage, the rest of the team has also just signed up another client.
Well, it has been a very long day, and getting the first client at such a time is really a chance that we've gotten.
Yeah.
Though we are still very optimistic that we shall get
other people.
Though the public should know it's really hard to convince people to input something in their minds in a few hours, something they don't believe in. So if we're given more time, I think we'd be better.
Will Team Alpha manage to sign up more investment clubs? True to his word, the vice chairman of the Garage Saving Group in Wandagere has called Abbas the team leader. They are ready to sign. Team Alpha, now optimistic, are heading downtown in one of the arcades.
This is our number 3 client. Yeah, and I think it's moving on well considering the weight of this job.
Time check is 5:20 p.m. and Team Alpha is racing to the final destination, Makerere Business School, where some clients are waiting.
Now they are ready.
Yeah, now they're ready, so we have to go and sign them up.
It's 5:40. Team Omega has only 20 minutes to make it to the pit stop. But will they?
Now we're heading back to the station. We're expecting information coming from upcountry, online, 2 more groups from Tororo.
Time has caught up with us, but fortunately we have done our best. We think we have done our best. Right now we are still in Katosi, Sichomo, located in Danger sub-county.
Time check, 6 p.m. Team Alpha makes it to the DFCU towers on time. But Team Omega is nowhere to be seen.
For the purposes of time, we know that the time has caught up with us, but the day has been a successful day. We have done our best, and we know that we are making it this time.
Team Alpha, your team leader. So this is a team that went to the top, fought to stay there, but didn't really manage to. So, as they call it, the team to beat. How has it been team leader for them?
Yeah, it has been so interesting. Yeah, because I've been able to lead my team.
Okay.
And we were able to come up with some results.
Did you give everyone a role to play?
Yeah.
And they did well?
Yes.
Okay. So what was so tough about getting people to be part of something you're already part of?
The convincing people to accept our ideas.
But you're already part of an investment group. You, of all people, know the value of being in an investment
yes,
group.
but people have a different understanding, and people have different thinking maybe, but convincing them to buy the ideas we are selling them. It was so challenging.
So did you manage to sign up anyone today?
Yes.
How many?
There are 4.
4 investment clubs.
Together they are 10.
Together they are 10.
But we managed to get money from 6 investment clubs.
Out of the 10?
Out of the 10.
Right.
Then there are the 4 that register on Monday.
Oh, makes sense to me now.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the judges will have to verify before you go, to speak to them.
Yes.
So if the other 4 can come through before then, I guess it works in your favor.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you. Here's your envelope.
It's now time for the teams to meet the judges. Team Alpha goes first. They don't know what to expect from the judges.
It's tense, I should say, because task 3 was not any easy. That is to be frank. But yeah, we shall make it.
Team Alpha, I love your name. When they gave you this task, what were your thoughts and what was your strategy?
Well, this task, I should say it was almost off guard. It caught us off guard. But
why off guard?
Like the thing is, you do not know what is going to happen when, and you do not know what task is for the day. So we opened the envelopes, and it was all about recruiting more investment clubs in DFCU Bank. And it was not any easy, I should say, though it was a very nice experience. We got to feel what it is to market.
Okay, so leaving DFCU, could you say you guys had a clear picture of what was going to happen in as regards where you're going to go and what we're going to target? Because that didn't come out in any of the discussions you guys had. I didn't see a list of target people where you're saying, let's go here first, then second here. It's down the road, it came off as haphazard.
When we were trying to come up with where to go, I mentioned that let's go and find people with a common interest. Then
but
a member asked which people. Then I mentioned that borders and garages. Then one member asked, actually was the Briton, asked which garage. I told him this side of Kiseka, those side. Then, but we went on another side.
If you had planned and thought about this very well, there are so many people in Kiseka, there are so many savings groups or beginners within Kiseka that if you focused on only Kiseka, probably you'd have gathered the numbers.
But
so right from the time you left DFCU Towers, 1, you went back and forth on instructions, yet it was just clear. You could have consulted on regards what you were required to do. 2, the entire team left without a succinct understanding of what you were going to do in the field.
You see, what we're observing here is that you started with a negative note. You had all negative things regarding what you're going to do. So strategy, you lost it out, it was affected.
My interest is always picking lessons from what we go through. Because when you can't pick lessons, then you can't learn. And if you can't learn, you can't grow.
That's true.
The last time, I remember, Steel Alpha had issues of negative energy. This time round, negative energy is still registering. What is the challenge of embracing tasks and saying we're going to do it? What is it that you could have done better? For me, the issue is you did not learn from the fact that we need to embrace tasks and drop the negative energy. But also, in your team, you have people bringing in different ideas. How do you harmonize those ideas to be positive and produce better?
Now, I want to bring all of you back to this one decision you made. Fine, these 2 guys don't know Kampala. You 2 guys know Kampala. You've said you're comfortable with the decision of going to Washing Bay. This was a numbers game. The task was very clear. The person that comes back with the most accounts will win the day.
Yes.
So do you still stand to your decision of going to Washing Bay and leaving Kiseka Market? And I'm going to give you a wrap-up of what Kiseka Market is all about. You all know what's going on down there,
yes.
right? Except from the riots. Yeah? There's construction of the market.
Yes.
Who do you think owns that market?
The Kiseka people themselves.
Exactly. So how do you come down to the decision of those guys are not potential for saving? Or they don't have quite a bit of social groups in there, and you opt to go to a single Washing Bay as opposed to going to Kiseka Market, which has the numbers.
It has the money as well.
Not that we went to a single Washing Bay.
Okay. I could add up all the washing bays, the moves you went to, all those people, and you won't get the numbers, not even a quarter of the numbers in Chiseka Market. What do you have to learn out of this decision, the decision you made?
The decision we made.
Or how would you do it differently now that you've gotten all that information?
I should say that we may have had our personal bias about the Chiseka people.
What was the bias?
These are people, because at least I've been to them and I know what their abilities are, and given the time that we were given, it would be very hard to convince people in Chiseka Market to team up. If we were given a week, then Chiseka Market would be the best.
And it would have been easier in the washing bay and the porta potties.
And actually, let us bring this to a closure. What we have to learn out of this is sometimes you need to listen and reflect. If he had an idea around targeting people with common interest, Chiseka already has common interest.
Yes.
If you're saying you know those people, they are putting up a market, and Rocco is the one constructing the market.
Yeah.
True.
What bigger common interest is that? So if they are putting together a market, they are the people, the traders outside, they are the mechanics, they are people in buildings, businessmen. Chiseka spans into Nabugabo.
Yes. And we reached Nabugabo.
Do you know what your colleagues did as regards who were successful in this and the places they went to?
No.
Exactly. So that's your homework.
They widened their market, so you narrowed it.
But
that's
gentlemen, that's what life brings at us. I think the most important thing that Alpha going forward, we need to watch the attitude towards task. Because in life you don't choose what comes at you. 2, you need to think about strategy before you move out. Because if you have no strategy, you get scattered.
Team leader, what do you think you could have done differently, having had everything as a team leader?
Actually, generally my team was okay. Secondly, as leadership skills, I could not perform all the roles alone. Sometimes I could delegate. You go and perform this task. You can perform this task. And the team itself was so cooperative to the extent that whoever I was maybe delegating, they were putting it into action.
Okay, but one of the key tenets of a team leader is to give direction.
Yes.
Yeah, so just go and reflect around that in as regards, did you give the right direction to the entire team in terms of strategy, in terms of how to really get to achieve, in terms of understanding what the task was and how to execute whatever strategy you guys had. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Up next is Team Omega. Will the judges penalize them for not checking in on time?
How did the task go?
It was fantastic, and we went down there and we did it to the best of our knowledge.
I'm intrigued. Why Katusi? All the way from Kampala, there are many other places. Why the strategy of Katusi?
It came like this. We sat down and agreed that there are so many village savings down in the village which are vulnerable and they need just sensitization. That's why we come up with an idea that once we reach there, these people at the grassroots level, most of them are not informed, and if we go there and we inform them, we shall get the best results from them.
Actually, why Katosi? We basically work in Katosi in Kono South as Sichomu. As Sichomu, we have more than 30 groups that are doing saving, Visla groups. We have groups of 30 members and they are doing saving. So in this year, we are supposed to link them to institutions, to circles. So when DFCU came in and they wanted investment clubs and our groups are already there, we thought it was appropriate for us to go and...
Is there purchasing power in Katusi? Why I'm asking, most of the investment clubs that we have, people think that it's the corporates that should save because they are salaried. However, I want to hear from you, what are your findings?
Okay. Our findings in Katosi, we found that those groups, much as they are in the village, there is a group which has a fruit factory down in the village there. And they have an orphanage, whereby I remember that orphanage home where even their officers, they could not access us, they couldn't allow the cameraman to enter. Yeah, so they are somehow organized down in the village there.
At planning level, I remember you talked about going to schools, yeah, and it being a university senior savers kind of group, the club you're representing. You talked about schools, you talked about going to the universities and stuff. What happened to that idea?
Trying to convince a person who is not known to the other person to open up an investment club with them seems so tricky. So we decided to go to people who are already in a group and they know themselves, they trust themselves.
Are you suggesting that investment clubs should be built on harmony, on people knowing each other? It is actually easier then.
Yeah, it's easier that way.
What do you think about this task?
This task,
the broader perspective.
The broader perspective.
Not just about the competition.
The broader perspective is that I think our sponsors, they should make us to be their ambassadors, so that when we go down to the villages where we are from, we should be their ambassadors, so that we bring in more. There are so many savings groups which are just saving at the village level. They don't know, they are not aware about club investment.
Well, the power is more in the investment clubs. The savings group will just save their money, but then the investment club will invest it.
What are your thoughts about your Chinyugunyu colleagues? Thank you. You did a great job. And we're actually very proud of you guys. So go out there and spread this knowledge more.
We shall do that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Teams will find out what their positions are after the judges listening to Team Zil and Divas. Next week on the Battle for Cash, Team Divas and Team Zil hustle to get new investment clubs. Team Divas leader can't speak English. Will this deter the team? And Team Zil's leader practically gives up on the team and the task. All that and more on the Battle for Cash.
Possible if you work hard on it. Possible if you never quit. It's possible. It's